Okay, hi. My name is Coach Brittany with College Coaches Connection, and I am joined here today with Gavin Siddoway, and I will let him introduce himself here in a minute. But before we get to Gavin, just a little bit about College Coaches Connection and what we do. We are a group of current and former college coaches and athletes who evaluate high school athletes who want to play at the next level. And so if they decide that they want to work with us, we work with them to mentor them basically through that recruiting process. And we understand that recruiting looks a little bit different for everybody. And that is why we want to we're just here to shed some light on some of those stories and kind of get the experience of some of our athletes. And so Gavin was kind enough to join us today and tell us a little bit about his experience working with us and share a little bit about his just journey in general. So thank you, Gavin. And can you tell us, I said your name, tell us where you're from, what sport you play, and maybe what position you play.
Yeah. So I go to Viewmont High School. I am a point guard. Yeah, that's pretty much all. I play basketball, obviously, if I'm a point guard. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, and Viewmont, but that is where in
Yeah. It is just outside of Salt Lake, 15 minutes north, right outside of Bountiful. So
cool
in Utah.
Yeah. In Utah. So Gavin is actually we're Utah based, Salt Lake based, and so Gavin is one of our local athletes. So it's really fun that we've been able to. We'll get more into how he kind of found us and that sort of a thing, but it is fun whenever we do get to work with a local kid because then we get to watch them and see them firsthand. So super fun. So tell us a little bit about your background in basketball, like maybe when you started, how basketball came into your life. Was there any other sports that you played growing up?
Yeah, so I remember playing basketball ever since I can remember. I actually started playing soccer, and I just didn't like it as much as basketball. My parents actually told me I had to decide between the two sports, and I chose basketball, and I'm happy I did that now because soccer doesn't seem as fun as basketball is. But that's my background. I've been I try I've been trying to go get shots up every day since I was like 8 years old when my dad started letting me play in some leagues around this area. So that's when I started really getting into it. And ever since then I've just been working every day. So that's what
Nice.
I
So the
found out.
popular thing here, right, in youth basketball is junior jazz. So was that junior jazz your very first kind of team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing junior jazz when I was 8. They didn't allow us to play games until we were 8. And so I never really
Okay.
played with junior jazz until I was 8 because that's when they started to let us play games, and that's all I
Yeah,
wanted
that
to
seems
do.
kind of old,
Yeah, it is.
older, but
They might have changed it by now, but back when, like 10 years ago, that's when how it
junior
was.
jazz.
So
I feel like that's kind of every kid's like around here locally, right? I'll start with junior jazz. It all starts there.
yep, it all starts there.
So soccer, and I feel you on the soccer thing because like basketball's indoors, right? Like we don't have to worry about
Yeah,
weather.
yeah,
Like I feel you.
yes,
I think that was a smart choice too. So I'm gonna get into it a little bit. You said you're a point guard slash shooting guard, maybe a little bit.
yep,
You're 5'11". You average over 6 points a game, 5 assists per game, about 1.2 steals per game, 4 rebounds a game. And tell me if this is wrong. This might not be updated either, but you're also a 52% from the field, 40% from the three, 76% free throw shooter. Um, you have about a 3.97 GPA, so
yeah,
close to that
yeah.
4.0. Does that kill you?
I know. Yeah, I've only I. It was my sophomore year. I got a B plus and a B
Oh,
in math and stuff. So
dang.
I know.
That's all right. That's pretty good still. You're the top 9% of your class. So
Yeah, pretty high.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
I take
remind me,
academics.
Viewmont is a 6A school here in Utah,
5A,
right?
5A.
5A school here in
Yes.
Utah. Okay. And so you were a varsity starter. You're also were a part of, I don't know if you still are, but you were a part of a club team as well. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I might play with them this year, but since I've already signed with the college, I might just not. I don't know yet. I
Yeah.
haven't decided. So
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So tell us how you finished this year as a team.
we finished 19th in the rankings, but we went to Timpview and played against them. They were the 14th seed, and they should have been more a top 10 seed, and they ended up beating us. But we in our region we finished third after Woods Cross and Box Elder, and Woods Cross went to the championship, and Box Elder went to the semifinals. So it was a really tough region, but we started playing really well at the end of our season. I just loved the team I was a part of, and it was such a great experience. Even though we didn't get as far as we wanted to in the tournament, we just had such a great team dynamic, and we loved playing with each other and being around each other. So it was awesome.
Oh, I love that. And are you born and raised in Bountiful then?
I was born in Woods Cross, and we actually moved to Bountiful so I wouldn't go to Woods Cross,
No.
which is kind of funny because they went to the championship this year, so I could have been there, but I don't regret moving here. I like
Yeah.
Viewmont way more than Woods Cross. So
Yeah, it all worked out, right?
yeah.
Awesome. So when you think back on your time playing youth basketball and your high school career, you said you love this group of guys, but are you are you sad that this high school chapter is done, or are you kind of just like, yeah, this was fun, but I'm pumped for college, like let's go, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. That night after we lost was really, really sad.
Yeah.
It is if you don't win the championship, it's usually sad. But
Yeah.
I when we lost, I said this sucks. But then like the next day and the next week, I started realizing that I have to get ready for college and that I have great things ahead of me, and so I can't dwell on the past and
Yeah.
be super sad. So I'm more excited now about playing in college. I'm super excited for this experience that I'll be
That's
able to
awesome.
have.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I actually played, I'm a hooper as well. And I still remember my last high school game. And I could not, and this is kind of gross now that I think about it, but I could not bring myself to take off my jersey that night. Like I slept in it. I was like, there's no, like, I am going to take, when I take this jersey off, it is the last time. And I like couldn't handle that mentally.
Yeah,
And I
it
slept in
was.
it. I slept in it.
Yeah, well, I didn't do that, but it was hard taking it off. It was sad.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have admitted that, but that's okay. That was a long time ago. So
That's
then was
funny.
college basketball kind of always the goal, or was it something where you were content playing high school, and that wasn't necessarily on your mind, and then maybe it came later, or was it something you knew you always wanted to do?
It's something I knew I always wanted to do. I really didn't start the recruiting process till I was a sophomore turning to a junior. So I started pretty late because I didn't know what to do. I
Right.
just thought coaches would reach out to me, but that's not how it happens if you're not a high Division I recruit, which I'm not. So, but yeah, I always wanted to play college basketball. I didn't care what division or where. I just love playing basketball, and it's pretty much all I do. So being able to
Yeah.
play in the college level was always the goal.
I mean, you have a nice little poster right here,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's kind of your life. Like that
Yep.
tells us
Yep.
everything about what basketball is to you. But so how would you describe yourself as a basketball player?
Um, in high school, I was more of a facilitator, and I'd run the offense, and I would just get my teammates shots before I looked for my own shot. But in college, I kind of want to change that. I want to be the one that scores more and gets the ball more, gets more shots. But even if I end up being a facilitator in college too, it's not a big deal. I loved playing high school basketball. I never got sad that I didn't average 15 points a game or whatever, or get 10,
Right.
12 shots a game. I wasn't angry about that. I love seeing my teammates be successful and getting open shots and scoring and doing what they do the best. So my role was pretty much being a captain and a leader and facilitating and running offenses and taking care of the ball and pretty much helping my team stay together and not get mad at each other when something wasn't going good.
Being that glue, right? I know,
Yeah.
I kind of briefly talked about your stats a little bit and your averages, and I've also watched your highlight tape a little bit, and I feel like and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like your stats don't actually tell the story of the kind of player that you are, which also kind of makes recruiting a little bit difficult as well, right? Because you're not somebody that has these just like out of this, like they're seeing like, oh, he's averaging like 20 points a game or anything like that. But to me, anyways, you're somebody that still makes like an impact when you're in the game and when you're probably not in the game. So am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah.
That's something I say all the time. I always say that my stats, they're not amazing stats. 6 points isn't amazing, but like I feel like I do a lot of the stuff that doesn't get put in the stat sheet. That's what I did in my high school. And it was hard to get recruited because my stats aren't amazing.
Right.
But just putting in the work and getting coaches to realize what I do and sending them film and stuff, I think that helped a lot because stats don't always show everything that a player is good at. And that's especially true for me because I didn't average 15 points a game, like I said. So coaches, it was hard.
Yeah. Coaches love that kind of a player though, that you are like, and I can tell, and I know not everybody that's going to watch this or listen to this knows what I'm, hasn't seen your highlight film, but, when they have a player that they don't have to worry about working hard or doing little things like, and, they don't have to be on you about all this stuff. Like they love that kind of kid. So I'm glad that it really all worked out in the end. So we'll kind of talk a little bit about recruiting since we're kind of going on that path here. So you mentioned you started kind of getting into that like recruiting process around your sophomore year. Tell me, and you also said that you had some assumptions about the recruiting that if you were good enough, coaches would find you, and that was not necessarily happening for you. So tell me kind of before you started working with College Coaches Connections, maybe some things that you had done, or your family had done, and maybe some other assumptions that you had.
Okay. So I started after sophomore year. One of the things I did a lot was reach out to coaches through emails, and they were good. I reached out to coaches all over the country, and it was good. But one thing that College Coaches Connection helped with is actually calling them. That made a huge difference. I never really thought about that before I started working with you guys. So that was one of the big differences that you guys helped me with. But before I would email them and then I'd ask for their number and send them film. And it was slow communication because emailing is harder than texting or calling. So one of the things you guys are really good at is emphasizing texting and calling because it's such a better form of communication, and it just builds stronger bonds with the coaches, and it helped a lot.
And so remind me how you started, kind of either you found us or you started working with us. Did you work directly with Coach Scott kind of from a like training and development, and then that's how you started working with us? Or tell me how that kind of looked.
Yeah, so I actually got an email from Coach Scott last summer, I think. And he said, I do this training every Monday in Salt Lake. I want you to come out and then I'll help you with that. And so I went out there, and I didn't even know that he ran a recruiting program when I started working with him. And then after a few months of working with him, he said, Gavin, I want to help you in the recruiting process because you're good enough to play in college. And I think I can help with that a lot. And so that's how I started working with the program. Is I started with the training, and then eventually I moved into the program, and he was able to help me with the recruiting process.
Okay. So, and Coach Scott is somebody that he's a basketball guy, and he works, and while College Coaches Connections, well, we do work with every sport there under the sun. Coach Scott, he's a basketball guy. He has worked with, I mean, probably thousands of athletes. And so when he said that to you, um, hey, I think you're good enough to play. And I know that was always a goal for you, but how did it feel kind of getting that validation from somebody who has, so much knowledge, basketball knowledge? How did that feel when he said that?
So when he said that, uh it made me like actually realize it was a possibility for me. Instead of it just being a dream and a goal, it was like, wow, this can actually happen, because he had such great experience and knowledge, like you said. And so someone like him saying that to me means that he actually believes it's true, and it helped me
Right.
gain confidence and think about it too, and it helped me think, wow, I can actually do this. My goal will become true, and I'll be able to play
Right.
at the
And
next level.
exactly. And when you like talked about, your dad and, how he was always, getting you to play or whatever. And, when you first started, it's like, obviously it's important to have the support of your parents and everything like that. But there is something about when like an outsider tells you that you're good enough to play, it kind of just like hits different, right? Like,
Hmm.
of course, he's your dad. He has to say you're good enough and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's important. But when, somebody else also shows belief in you, it feels different.
Yeah. It was very reassuring for sure. It was awesome. Made me
Yeah,
really happy actually.
that's awesome. So you worked with Coach Scott then, and you guys kind of formulated this plan. You put your highlights together. He kind of mentored you through the process a little bit, and then we sent your national contact out to a bunch of college coaches. Do you remember that day at all, or are you just kind of chill, go with the flow, like, yeah, okay, I'll, we'll see what
Yeah.
comes of it? Or were you kind of like low key excited or anxious or nervous for it all to kind of the ball to start rolling?
I was super excited, because leading up to the point where you send out the national contact, it takes a lot of work. And so
Yeah.
when he actually sent it out that day, I don't remember it exactly, but I remember thinking, wow, it's gonna happen. I'm excited. I was kind of like antsy to get some recruiting from coaches outside of this area. So it
Yeah.
was it was really cool.
Yeah. So tell me, as you did start to hear from some coaches and schools, stuff like that, like how did having, the help of a mentor kind of, you feel like benefited you in the sense of like you knew what to, when they called you, when they or emailed you or texted you or whatever, you knew what you were going to respond back to them, right? So do
Yeah.
you feel like you were better prepared, dealing with coaches? And I know you said you put in a lot of work before you even started working with us through email, but tell me about like recruiting, like if you can make a comparison, recruiting before and then recruiting kind of with us.
So recruiting before, Coach Scott was really good at having me know what was going to happen and how to respond to that exactly in a precise way. And so that was really good. It helped me with confidence. Like if a coach texted me and I set up a time to call them, I would call them, and I wasn't nervous, because I knew exactly what to say. This like I had exactly what I know to say. I knew what to say, and I knew how to say it, and I knew how to answer these coaches to make them believe that I really was interested in their program. And
Right.
so before I got talking to Coach Scott, I was a little more like, I don't know what to say. I don't know if what I'm going to say, if it's going to help me, if it's going to hurt me, if
Mm-hmm.
I can really show interest in their program just through what I say. And so Coach Scott was able to give me the right words and the right timing and all that stuff that would just help me to say what I need to say, so these coaches believe that I really want to play for them.
Right. And I feel like that's also something that you can take with you, like in the real world too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that having that confidence to have a conversation or, on the phone or like, I mean, we're used to texting, we like to DM, we kind of like avoid that confrontation if possible, it seems like. So, but
Yeah.
that's not reality. And so I feel like some of those things are definitely things that you will take with you, whether you realize it or not, kind of, beyond basketball, beyond school. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. Do you feel like your parents would say that they noticed a difference in your confidence as well, as far as like speaking to people?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't usually. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I bet they saw a little bit of a difference, but even before I started talking to people through you guys, I kind of had a confidence,
Hmm.
and so I don't know. They probably saw a little bit more confidence, but like
Oh, okay.
it probably wasn't a huge difference because I'm not a
Okay.
super shy guy, kind of a shy guy, but after I started calling the coaches, I was like, if I can call a college coach, I can talk to anyone,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Right.
I wasn't nervous speaking to people anymore, so
Oh, good.
that really did help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would be nervous for sure. Just knowing my personality. But if I had the tools, was given the tools to, or, scripts or, practice, even just, I feel like that I would have been so much more prepared,
Hmm.
to deal with
Yeah.
those situations. But so when it came to choosing a school or a college, what were the things that were most important to you? Whether it doesn't have to be athletic wise. It could be that it had the school had your degree that you wanted to study, or it could just be strictly sports related.
Yeah. So academics have always been important to me and my family. And so when I was looking for schools, I didn't care about where I would play. I'd be okay flying to Maine and playing in Maine. But my mom, she would not be okay with that. So it was kind of important to stay on the West Coast and kind of in this area around Utah. So that was important to me. And then the academics, the school I signed with has their academics are really good. They have a
Mhm.
good degree, good colleges. Because I don't know what degree I want yet, and so this
Okay,
school offers lots of degrees, and they're a very good educational school, and so that was very important to me too.
cool. So you had coaches reach out to you. We sent your contact out. We had coaches reach out to you. And then you also did some research on your own in looking at places maybe you were interested in, that you didn't necessarily hear from. But tell me how you and your mentor and or your family kind of navigated that process, as now trying to narrow school down.
So that process, it took a few weeks. I think one of the biggest thing was I tried to see how interested the coaches were in me.
Okay.
And so I would call them, and if they didn't answer the first or second time, I probably wouldn't call them again. But the coaches that did answer, I would put them on a list, and then I just kept talking to them, and it probably took a few months before I really narrowed my list down because I
Okay.
was talking to a lot of schools. And
Hmm.
so when it came down to it, it was just about my fit and what school was really good for me. And like I said, with the academics and with the sports and with the location. And so the school I ended up choosing was perfect for me.
Perfect. So we'll just go ahead and talk about that then. We've talked a little bit about your background and in basketball and a little bit about recruiting and what that looked like. So go for it. Tell us where you signed.
Yeah, I signed with Pacific University of Oregon.
Oregon.
So,
Awesome. And
yep,
Pacific University, they are in Forest Grove, Oregon, and they're just outside of Portland.
40 minutes west
Okay.
of Portland. And so they're right in the middle of the ocean and Portland. So I'm 40 minutes away from the ocean, 40 minutes away from Portland. So
That's
it's right
going
in
to
the
be
middle.
so awesome. And they
Hmm.
are in NCAA Division III. Do I got that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I have to ask, so I'm Pacific Northwest born and raised, so I approve this message. Um, but when you tell people your plans, your college plans, I have to imagine that they're saying, "Oh, I hope you like the rain." Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They always say, you better like the rain. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. I know it rains a lot up there.
Yeah.
But
But it's so green, and it's so different than here,
yeah.
but it's still not that far, right? Like
Yeah,
you're still West
it's
Coast, like it's, you could drive if you wanted to. So I
yeah,
feel like, but it'll be a completely different than, than
yeah.
Bountiful, Utah, I'm sure, but that's going to be awesome. So what else kind of drew you to Pacific? Was it, you talked about, you wanted it to make sure that it was a good fit. So then what was it about the, the coach or the team that really was like, this is it?
So the coach I was mainly talking to, his name was Brant Miner, and I was able to. He runs kind of a basketball program, like a skills thing, and so I was able to go to one of his camps out in Oregon and just get to meet him. And he has this great energy about him, and he's a really really cool guy. So I was obviously drawn to him, and then I I was talking to him about some of their programs, and they have these programs set in place for their athletes where they like, it's called a 15-15-15, where every day you talk, every 15 days you talk to a coach for 15 minutes about your 15 goals. And so just
Oh,
having programs like that where they want their athletes to become successful people outside of athletics, because basketball won't always be there for me, but my academics will and my major will. And so just having that kind of a I don't know, an experience would be good for me. And the coaches were amazing. And then I was able to go watch a game a few months ago, and they played. Oh, I forgot what team they played, but it was a fun experience, good energy, and it's an awesome place. So I'm
oh,
excited
I'm
for
so
it.
excited for you. I have to assume mom's super happy that you stayed
Yep.
on the West.
Yeah, that was another reason I chose to stay on the West, so my mom wasn't so worried.
Yeah, yeah, gotta keep moms happy.
Yep.
So you said you don't know what you're studying. But tell me what about college you're most looking forward to? Are you excited about, I don't know what the living situation is, if there's dorms or whatever, but what is it about college that you're really pumped about?
I'm super excited to have a new experience outside of Utah. Get to know life in a different area. Their culture is going to be so much more different. There's probably going to be a lot more diversity than there is in Bountiful. And so it's going to be, I'm excited for that. And then I'm super excited to be able to play college basketball. That's
Yeah,
really all, is that I'm super excited to play in college.
probably can't come soon enough, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Especially once your season is done, right? You're like, okay, yeah, but like when can I play again?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So how did you celebrate signing with them?
Um, yeah, I actually had a little bit of a party. I had
Nice.
um my four guy friends that I'm close with that don't play basketball. I had them come over, and then I had my whole team come over, and I they all came over. We had a chocolate fountain, and some cake,
Oh,
and
chocolate
then
fountain. You
I
guys did
know,
go all out.
yep, it was everyone loved it. Everyone loved the chocolate fountain. So we had chocolate fountain, and we had cake, and then I signed, and everyone clapped, and it was actually really really fun. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So overall,
it
I
was
feel
awesome.
like, do you feel like, I mean, I have to imagine, you're telling us how happy you are about signing and everything like that. So overall, I feel like um it was a great experience working with College Coaches Connection, and it was really a benefit having a mentor that, had been a college coach.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things is Coach Scott has so much experience, and
Mhm.
so he was really able. He answered all my questions. He had an answer for everything, and he was a great mentor. And he was just like, anything I needed, he was there. He could help me with all the struggles that come with recruiting, because it is super hard and super long and super boring sometimes. So
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things. I mean, I've been through, I didn't go through Coach Scott or College Coaches Connection, but I went through the recruiting process myself. And I'm still learning all like rules and, deadlines and all that stuff that comes with being a high school athlete that wants to play at the next level, it's a lot. And it would be
It
a lot for
is.
parents too. I don't know your family background very well, but were your parents like, how well did they know the recruiting process?
Before we started recruiting, we had no idea. No one had anything. We didn't
Yeah.
know anything about the recruiting process, but my dad was able to, we were able to go through it together. Especially my dad helped me a lot. My mom did too, but my dad was the one who pushed me to get stuff done. And there's a lot of information you have to learn. And
Hmm.
it's really, it can be really tedious at times and
Hmm.
really just, you have to work hard and you have to put your mind to it. It's something you really want to do. You have to really
Right.
want to play in college basketball to go through the recruiting process. So
Right. Well, and I don't know about you so much as maybe more your parents felt this, but just knowing that, you know, you're in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing had to have relieved some of that stress as well. But maybe not so much
definitely.
for you, but I would imagine your parents at
Yeah,
least.
probably. Definitely. Probably my dad for sure.
Probably dad for sure. Yeah. So where are you at in family order? Are you oldest or
I have an older brother and then it's me. And then I have two younger siblings.
and are you going to be the first college athlete in the family?
In this family, yes. My grandpa played basketball too. And so,
Oh, nice.
yeah. And my cousin plays volleyball too.
Okay.
But yeah. So in my direct family, yes. But
Okay. So then has mom planned her first visit out yet? I mean, I guess you guys are going to go in the summer and move you out and everything like that, but does she know when she's coming next?
not yet. I
Not
don't
yet.
we haven't really figured that out yet. We don't know when I'm moving out or anything yet. So once we figure that out, I bet she'll find out really fast.
Yeah. Well, Oregon will be so fun. Again, you're right by the coast, and there's, I don't know if you've been to the coast, Oregon coast before, but that super popular. And I don't know if you're a Nike guy, but you also have
Yep.
Nike right there too.
Yep.
So
That'll be awesome to have Nike right there. That's super cool. So
yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, Gavin, I don't know. Again, I'm kind of jealous because again, I'm a Pacific Northwest girl. So I don't know if you find me at one of your games or my family, maybe we can make a way up there. That'd be super fun too. But
yeah, that would
I'm
be.
I've got a little bit of FOMO, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know people are annoying and they're gonna be like, obviously talk about the rain, but it's like, yeah, that's why I play basketball. I'm not outside in the rain.
Indoor. Indoor.
Exactly. And I don't know, there's something, and obviously there's gonna be a lot of gloomy days and whatever, but when you get in a good day, I swear you forget about the rainy days. Like a good sunny spring, summer, fall day in the Pacific Northwest, like you can't beat it in my opinion. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it makes it worth it.
Yeah. I've been up there a few times and it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful area. So I
Yeah.
bet I don't know if I've been on a sunny day, but
Maybe when
when
you
there's a
move.
sunny day. Yeah.
Maybe this summer when you're there and maybe your family can do some fun stuff and go to the coast or whatever when they drop you off.
Yeah.
But then they might not leave. So I don't
Yeah. They might
know.
get hooked.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, if you have nothing else to say about it, everything, we'll get to some. Are you up for some fun, kind of just like random questions?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. I actually stole this first question from a different podcast, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but since you're a basketball guy, how good are you? How's your half court shots? Have you ever hit like a buzzer beater?
No, not well. I have hit a buzzer beater, but not a half court shot. So
Okay. Are you kind
uh,
of like, are you the kid that's like at the end of practice, like you're just like chucking up like tricks, trick shots and stuff just to see what falls in or?
I have been that guy before. So actually, my friends, we every year we try to make like 3 or 4 half court shots in a row as friends. And so
Okay.
this year we went and we tried to get to 4, and it took us. We started at like 9:30, and we went to 12, and we didn't make it, so we just gave up. But in years past we've made half court shots, but my half court
Okay.
shot percentage is probably not amazing.
Okay,
So,
well then I'm excited
yeah.
I'm excited to ask this then. So you get 25 half court shots, okay? You make one, you get 15 million. You don't make any. You have to spend 15 years in jail. Do you take the challenge?
Yeah, I take that
Yeah.
challenge.
Okay,
Yeah,
does it
25
yeah.
to make one. Easy.
Okay,
Easy.
does it change if I say like you get 20?
I think it would change if you said 10.
Okay.
Maybe 15.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because think about it, like you got 10, like you got 10 shots and you haven't made one yet, like then that pressure like starts to build, right?
If I got
Okay,
to like
but I like the
6, I'd be
confidence.
scared.
I like the
Yeah.
confidence. Okay, favorite pizza toppings.
I go pineapple and bacon
Okay.
or barbecue chicken.
Do you have a favorite pizza place?
If it's fast, I like Domino's, but I also like Zapponis, Z Brothers.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's just a thing around here.
Okay.
Around
Okay,
here,
the ponies. Nice. So if your
Yeah.
sport, I know you said you played soccer as well, but if your sport didn't exist, what sport do you think you'd still be playing soccer or would you be playing something else?
Probably golf. I like golf. I'm not good at golf, but I like golf.
It's fun, right? It's mentally challenging though, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's
I wish I would have
it's a
picked
super
up
hard
golf
game.
younger, for sure. For sure. Okay, favorite ice cream flavor.
Um, if I'm going for boring, I like cookies and cream, but that's boring. And if I like lemon and raspberry, or raspberry and Oreo. So yeah.
Okay. That's kind of an interesting raspberry and chocolate. Maybe that's not that weird. I don't know.
It's actually pretty good. I don't know if you've
Okay.
ever been to Nelson's Frozen Custard. It's in North Salt Lake.
Okay, I think
North
I've been once.
Salt Lake, yeah. Yeah, I get a raspberry Oreo concrete every time I go there. And it's pretty
Okay,
good.
raspberry Oreo. Actually, I think they're building one not far from me. So
Oh, really?
I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, that's good.
Raspberry Oreo. Okay. Okay. And if you'll hear from me if I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're also going to be right in between the beach and mountains, like you said. But if you had to choose like tropical beach or mountains, what kind of guy are you?
Oh, I don't know. I would say mountains.
Okay.
Just
That's
because I've never really been to a tropical place. I've been to Mexico,
okay.
but like never been to Hawaii or the Bahamas or anything.
So that's the Utah guy coming out of you, right? Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, what was the last assignment you turned in?
Oh, I had this. It's actually funny because I had this term assignment due yesterday, so that's what I turned in. It was actually a really big assignment. So
a really big assignment?
Yeah, ended up being like a 10-page essay or something.
Oof.
Yep, boring. But
boring.
Done,
and now you're gonna go do it all over again in college. So
yep. Yeah.
Enjoy summer, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I'm assuming you have a pregame playlist or something, album made. Are you team Apple or team Spotify?
Spotify.
Same.
Spotify, yeah.
What song do you think on your playlist? Is there a song on your playlist that would maybe surprise us?
Let me go look at it. It's only like 5 songs long because I just try to listen to the same songs over again before.
Okay, so are you superstitious?
Not superstitious. I think if you are in the same routine, you'll play consistent.
There you go.
And so I just listened to like 5 songs.
So you're not superstitious, you're just a little stitious.
Yeah, little stitious.
I didn't know if you had like some like rap mixed in with like, I don't know, something like poppy that would be like, people would be like, Gavin listens to what? But
so I listen to, I have some Pop Smoke and then I have the Lumineers. So it's all
okay. Yeah. That's some variety. I like it. So then my last question to you, Gavin, if another high school basketball player or high school just athlete in general just said, Gavin, I know you've worked with College Coaches Connection, but I'm on the fence. What would you say to them? Or what advice would you give them?
I would say definitely look into it because of the mentors. That
Mm.
was probably the biggest thing, and just being confident and knowing what to say to coaches and how to talk to them, and like just being confident enough to call college coaches instead of just emailing them every day.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah,
the
back to those
mentorship.
emails. I mean, you mentioned the email and wait game was a slow game.
Yeah,
And
slow.
the way that we approach it is a little bit different, and things happened, it sounded like, a lot faster that way.
Yeah,
So
it did.
that's awesome. Well, thank you for spending a little bit of your Saturday for us with us. I know you've said you're about to, before we hopped on here and started recording, you said you're gonna go get some shots up after this. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, if you start jacking up some half court shots, you'll have to keep track and tell me at what point you hit it.
Okay.
Your first
Yeah.
half court shot. Okay.
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 Yeah, I'll do that.
If it's under, no, I can't make bets. I can't make bets. I'll lose for sure. I was gonna say if it's under 10, like okay. But if it's under 10, I'll go get a raspberry Oreo milkshake or whatever. There we go.
That'll be a reward for you.
I know.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get it either way. Let's be honest. So.
That's a good bet. I like that bet.
Or we'll both will. Like you can go get yours
Yeah.
and I'll go get mine. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, if there's nothing else, Gavin, if anybody out here is listening and wants to learn more about us, you can go to our Facebook, you can go to our Instagram and message us there. And we'd be happy to have one of our coaches and our mentors reach out to you. And you can always go to our website at collegecoachesconnection.com. And I mentioned this on when I had another conversation. What we should do, one of my questions should be, is get every person that comes on here to say College Coaches Connections like 3 times fast.
Yeah, that'd be
tough. I won't make you do that. But one of these times I'm going to make somebody do it. But
I'll do that.
Yeah, I should. So on that same website, collegecoachesconnection.com, you can create a free athletic profile on our database. And yeah, there's a bunch of information, but you can always just reach out to us through DM, or we also have an email, coach@collegecoachesconnection.com. So one of these days, like, it's just not going to flow off my tongue that well. No. So anyways, there's a lot.
It's a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister. Sure. I know. So there's if Gavin's story resonates with you, maybe you're a really good player and you feel like your stats don't show that. We'd love to help. Like this business, it feels weird calling it a business, but this business was created out of a place of just wanting to help kids play at the next level. And we here at College Coaches Connections have all been there ourselves. And so, yeah, we're just here to help. So thank you again, Gavin. And it was great talking to you, and enjoy that rainy, gloomy, terrible Pacific Northwest weather.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Okay, well, good luck getting those half court shots in today.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Okay, we'll see ya.